So, we're back at it again. Just going to record for a little while, break these things off into segments. There'll be several different videos, I'm sure. I don't have the ability to hold people's attention for very long. So, as long as I make it long enough to where it's worthy to watch, because there's enough information they can glean, but also not too long to where I become a bore, then it's a comfortable medium for me. Now, we left off reading the struggle of Isaac, and we read about some very interesting things that take place. From the fact that he goes down into the land of Gerara, which is pretty much the land of the Philistines. And what he does is he tries to fill in, certain places where his father was already at. And interestingly enough, the man is not, what's the word I'm looking for, Isaac is perplexed by the struggle that he has to go through that his father didn't have to go through. And the reason why he's perplexed is because he's wondering, he's like, if these guys really respected my dad like that, then what's the problem? But Isaac has to realize, your dad was dealing with the Kettites in the end, not Philistines. Right. Mm-hmm. You see what I'm saying? And that and there are different Hamitic people. The Philistines, if I'm not mistaken, they come from Mizraim, and the Kettites, if I'm not mistaken, are children of Canaan. Right? And they're actually technically Canaanites. Amorites, Evites, Sumerians, and a few other major races that for some odd reason escape me, to say the least. Girgashite. Oh yeah, that. But it's just, they're different. They come from different groups of the Hamitic or the Kemetic bloodline, and one of them comes from a more servitile role of people. So the Kettites are under that curse of being servitile-like to not only Semites, but to a lesser degree, the Japhetites. So when the Kettites are dealing with Abraham, they're dealing with Abraham from a point of view of he's like an authoritative figure to us. Whereas with the Philistines, right, they're not under that same curse, so they don't have a servant's mentality. They won't subject themselves to that. If you want to get technical. With that said, we're going to pick up right in verse 34, chapter 26. And Esau was 40 years old, and he took a wife. And he took to wife Judith, the daughter of Beoch, the Kittite, and Besemath, daughter of Helon, the Kittite. And down there it says the Hivite. There's a correction there. And they were provoking to Isaac and Rebekah. They were provoking. Now, what could make you provoking to Isaac and Rebekah, other than the fact that, I don't know, you're not the people. You're not us. No matter how much they look alike, they're still not us. You follow me? And then these might be Hittites and Hivites who've been corrupted with a Gentile or Gentilic material, we'll say the least, without getting vulgar or carried away. Now, this is verse 1 of chapter 27. And it came to pass after Isaac was old, that his eyes were dim, so that he could not see. And he called Esau, his elder son, and said to him, my son? And he said, behold, I am here. And he being Esau. And he said, Isaac, I am grown old, and know not the day of my death. Now then, take thy weapons, both thy quiver and thy bow, and go unto the plain, and get me venison, and make me meats, as I like them, and bring them to me, that I may eat them, that my soul may bless thee before I die. And Rebekah heard Isaac speaking to Esau. And Esau went to the plain to procure venison for his father. And Rebekah said to Jacob, her younger son, behold, I heard thy father speaking to Esau thy brother, saying, bring me venison, and prepare me meats, that I may eat and bless thee before the Lord before I die. Now then, my son, hearken to me, as I command thee, and go to the cattle, and take from me thence 2 kids, tender and good. And I will make them meats for thy father, as he likes. This is too funny. Anyway, I'm just going to keep reading. I'll break it all down in a little bit. And he shall eat, that thy father may bless thee before he dies. And Jacob said to his mother Rebekah, Esau, my brother, is a hairy man, and I am a smooth man. Peradventure my father may feel me, and I shall be before him as one ill mentioned, and I shall bring upon me a curse and not a blessing. And his mother said to him, on me be thy curse, son. Only hearken to my voice, and go and bring them to me. Now stop right there. For Esau to be hairy, and for Jacob not, this is an indication that the Syrian people, meaning Rebekah's people, could have been the uber hairy type guys, right? You know what I'm talking about? Because I got cousins and shit like that. You know what I mean? For some other reason, they're just hella hairy. Like their arms and their legs are hella hairy. You know what I mean? Like outside the niggas growing beards, like they just grow hair all over their body. And when it says, you know, Jacob is, you know, he's a smooth man, like I look at myself and I laugh, you know, because I have arm hairs, but they're so little and they're just, you know, it's like, anyway. It's that sort of thing though, where you can inherit things genetically and one person doesn't, you know what I mean? These guys are dizygotic twins, you know what I'm saying? So meaning that they have their own spots, you feel me? Like it doesn't happen very often, you know, but every once in a while, you know, like they're twins, but it's actually 2 different babies, you know, and people don't understand that concept. And you know, I'll explain genetics through and throughout, but I don't feel like I'm getting carried away in that. But genetically speaking, if they're twins and one person inherits a greater value of genes from another parent, they can have traits that the other twin or the other person does not have. You see what I'm saying? Whereas monozygotic twins, as opposed to dizygotic, the monozygotic twins would be, or triplets, I should say, are Shem, Ham, and Japheth. I could even go more recent in the storyline and just use Abraham, Nahor, and Aran, and they're monozygotic triplets as well. You see what I'm saying? So, and when I say dizygotic and monozygotic, I'm meaning that these guys, monozygotic meaning that they're going to look the same. Chances are they're going to be identical. Dizygotic is where people try to say they're fraternal and not maternal twins or whatever, but there's no indication that it's a fraternal thing and not a maternal. There's no indication. Nobody knows that. When I say what I'm saying, I speak pretty confidently. So we're going to carry on with the story, and we're going to pick up where she wants him to get the 2 young kids. Note that, because they're soft. and their meat is more likened to the texture of venison. So when she cooks it, she knows how to cook it to make it taste how my man's wants it to taste, how Daddy Isaac wanted it to taste. You gotta understand that. You feel me? And she told her son, don't worry, whatever curse he speaks on you, it's on me. The angels hear that. They understand that. So they understood that if he were to be cursed, the curse would have to fall on her. Now going forward. Verse 14. So he went and took and brought them to his mother, them being the two kids. And his mother made meats, as his father liked it. And Rebekah, having taken the fine raiment of her elder son Esau, which was with her in the house, put it on Jacob, her younger son, and put on his arms the skins of the kids, on the bare parts of his neck, and on the bare parts of his neck. Listen to that. And on the bare parts of his neck. Right on? Because, meaning that Esau probably had hair all the way down here. Word? Y'all know what I'm talking about. My beard stops like right here. Word? You know, like this area. But there's niggas whose beards grow way down here. Can you dig what I'm saying? And that's what I'm trying to break down to y'all, is that like the dizygosity between them, meaning that they were literally two different sperm cells, and the egg splits into two. You feel me? I don't think there's two eggs. I just think it's one egg, but it's two different sperm cells, and they actually both get into the egg, and they break the egg off into two. Word? And this is how people, when it's twins, the traditional way that it's understood is that the sperm cell penetrates the egg, and then over a period of time it duplicates itself. Right on? Okay. Now we're told that during the process from conception to the fetus to the actual birth, that there's processes where the eggs, inside the egg, the life will multiply itself multiple times anyway. So how they know the difference between twins and not, realistically, I really don't know. As far as how that's supposed to work. But in this instance, I'm telling you, from what I know, what I really do know, is that it would be two different sperm cells from the same person, right? And they would have went into the egg, and within the egg, they would have developed into two different people. Word? And once again, pulling from the mother's gene pool and from the father's gene pool. So right, Jacob grows a beard, but he's like, dude, this nigga's extra hairy. His mom had to put it on his arms and on his neck, the bare parts of his neck. The bare parts of his neck, not his chin, goddamn, okay? His neck. And I had to stress that so that way y'all really get, Esau was like a super duper hairy ass nigga. And we all know dudes like that. Quit playing the game. So that means that twins, people can be born from the same parents and look different, is what it's trying to really illustrate to us. But it only happens, these things only happen so often, and it's not often that people are born twins where we can actually see dizygosity in their twinship. You know what I'm talking about? Having said that, let's go ahead and just keep reading. Verse 16. And she put on his arms the skins of the kids, and on the bare parts of his neck. And she gave the meats and the loaves, which she had prepared into the hands of Jacob her son. And he brought them to his father, and said, Father. And he said, Behold, I am here. Who art thou, son? And Jacob said to his father, I, Esau, thy firstborn, have done as thou toldest me. Now stop right there. What this really indicates is that either Jacob knows how to talk like Esau, or they don't sound very much different, even if they look different. And we know people who are related that are brothers that sound, people are be related and sound similar. Brothers and sisters, like it, genetics work like that. You know, you sound like your parents. You're a clone, dude. You are a clone. I'm a clone of my parents. That's how it works. This is one of my more favorite things to do once again is just sit here and obviously break it down, so we can really get it in. Uh, and let's just keep going through the story because I'm trying to get to as much as this chapter done because there's a whole bunch of verses in it and possibly get to the end of this page before I stop. And people go, oh, goats don't have hair like niggas, and I'm like, yo, bro, like when you comb your beard out and you brush your shit out, it has a more finer feel. Not exactly like a goat would be or nothing like that, but understand this. Listen to me now. Take a deep breath. This means, once again, that the people who I'm talking about are the Syrians, right? Are these people who are more than likely they look more Aboriginal, they look more like Aboriginal black people because of all the blood mixing they had already done. Can you dig that? So that means what? Right, that means that what I've been saying to y'all is true, is that as soon as the tower was stopped being worked on and Earth was separated and all the languages were made differently, that those things came from the bowels of the planet and started to mix with the people. This is why genealogy really is such an important thing because it took such a long time to break down the dominant constitution of the Adamites to where now only in a generation you can pretty much breed yourself out. Whereas it took a long time back then. But I did want to note that for the hair to be likened to that, right on. People are like that's like white people. I'm like, listen, calm down. Calm all the way down. We know that these are black people, okay? But I'm telling you right now, the hair of a kid, a baby goat, right? I'm not sure if you guys have ever actually touched a goat. It's more rough than it looks. Word, it's not as soft as it looks. It has a more coarse feel. It's not exactly as coarse as a beard would be, right on. But there's enough of a similar resemblance that I could understand how this may have taken place. So calm down, you know. Oh, we're white people. No, we're not. But where was he at? Where was I at? Before I went off on the tangent. Verse 20. And Isaac said to his son. No, excuse me. Verse 19. And Jacob said to his father, I, Esau, thy firstborn, have done as thou toldest me. Rise, sit, and eat of my venison, that thy soul may bless me. And Isaac said to his son, What is it that thou hast quickly found? And he said that the Lord God presented before me. He said that which the Lord thy God presented before me. And Isaac said to Jacob, Draw nigh to me, and I will fill thee, son, if thou art my son Esau or not. And Jacob drew nigh to his father, and he felt him, and said, The voice is Jacob's voice, but his hands are the hands of Esau. Now, the reason why, once again, he's able to pull that off is because the hairs on your arms and the hairs on your face don't feel the same. That's why I went into that diatribe about trying to explain that. But the hairs on your arms and the hairs on your face don't feel the same. So, obviously, he's able to pull that off. But he said, what though? He sounds like Jacob. But his hands are what? Like Esau's. See, now this is the type of stuff, once again, even though I said that he must have sounded enough alike, where he's like, damn, you sound like Jacob. But you see how not dumb Isaac is? He's like, damn, how did you find some venison that fast? Like, everything, Isaac's not stupid, okay? Isaac's not stupid at all. But anyway. I just love the whole building up of the suspense. I'm sorry if I do that. And you guys are like, if you already know what's going to happen, why are you doing that? Forgive me. Certain parts I know very, 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 very well, so it's like, I don't know, having a good time. Forgive me. Anyway. This is one of my parts I know pretty good. Not as well as I know other parts of the Genesis, but I know this part. I know this part pretty well. I like this part. This is one of my more favorite parts, because this is what Esau gets for slighting his birthright. Middle of 22. The voice is Jacob's voice, but the hands are the hands of Esau. And he knew him not, for his hands were as the hands of his brother Esau, hairy. And he blessed him, and said, Art thou my son Esau? And he said, I am. And he said, Bring hither, and I will eat of thy venison, son, that my soul may bless thee. And he brought it near him, and he ate. And he brought him wine, and he drank. And Isaac said, Father. And Isaac his father said to him, Draw nigh to me, and kiss me, son. And he drew nigh, and kissed him, and smelled of his garments, and blessed him, and said, Behold, the smell of my son is as the smell of an abundant field, which the Lord has blessed. And may God give thee of the dew of heaven, and of the fatness of the earth, and abundance of corn and wine, and let nations serve thee, and princes bow down to thee. And be thou Lord of thy brother, and the sons of thy father shall do thee reverence. Accursed is he that curses thee, and blessed is he that blesses thee. And it came after pass, verse 30, and it came to pass after Isaac had ceased blessing his son Jacob, it came even to pass, just when Jacob had gone out from the presence of Isaac his father, that Esau his brother came in from hunting, and he also had made meats, and brought them to his father, and said, Father, let my father arise and eat of his son's venison, that thy soul may bless me. And Isaac his father said to him, Who art thou? Oh my goodness, this is too funny. And he said, I am thy firstborn son, Esau. And Isaac was amazed with very great amazement, and said, Who then is that has procured venison for me, and brought it to me? And I have eaten all before thou camest, and I have blessed him, and he shall be blessed. And it came to pass, when Esau heard the words of his father Isaac, he cried out with a very great and very bitter cry, and said, Bless, I pray thee, me also, father. And he said to him, Thy brother has come suddenly, and taken thy blessing. And he said, Rightly was my name called Jacob. Rightly was his name called Jacob. For lo, this second time has he supplanted me. He has taken both my birthright, and now he has taken my blessing. And Esau said to his father, Hast thou not left a blessing for me, father? And Esau said to his father, Hast thou not left a blessing for me, father? And Isaac answered and said to Esau, If I have made him thy Lord, and have made all his brethren his servants, and have strengthened him with corn and wine, what then shall I do for thee, son? And Esau said to his father, Hast thou only one blessing, father? Bless, I pray thee, me also, father. And Isaac being troubled, Esau cried aloud and wept. And Isaac his father answered and said to him, Behold, thy dwelling shall be of the fatness of the earth, and of the dew of heaven from above. And thou shalt live by the sword, and shalt serve thy brother. And there shall be a time when thou shalt break and loosen his yoke from off thy neck. And Esau was angry with Jacob because of the blessing with which his father blessed him. And Esau said in his mind, Let the days of my father's mourning draw nigh, that I may slay my brother Jacob. And the words of Esau, her elder son, were reported to Rebekah. And she went and called Jacob her younger son, and said to him, Behold, Esau thy brother threatens thee to kill thee. Now then, my son, hear my voice, and rise, and depart into Mesopotamia, to Laban my brother, and to Haran. The same Quran that Torah dieting, right? You guys know how we do. Spiritual gumbo. Out.